So this section here houses all of my powder foundations, my blushes, bronzers, contours, that's cream and powder, and also highlighters, and my one little brow book as well. So I also do have 2 more little highlight palettes up here, so I'll bring them down when I get to the highlighting section because they just don't fit down here. Now this is all stuff that I use in my pro kit. I actually don't use any of these products on myself. I might grab a couple of highlighters every now and then, but I have my own products that I use on myself. So give the video a thumbs up if you want to see what's up in this section all the way up over here. If you want to see what's in my own personal collection. I'll start off with the brow palette because it's one little palette on its own, and it's this one here, and it's by the brand Senna. So just open it up. No mirror, I don't need a mirror, I'm using this on clients. So down here in this empty little section here, there was a wax, but I never ever used it, and product pretty much fell in it all the time, so I just took it out. So all of these little shadows or brow products are replaceable, so that's really good. So this is basically your highlight, it's nice matte cream color, and then you've basically got your blonde colors, auburn and browns, and then sort of your ashy sort of tones, and then really dark tones down here. So I love this. As you can see, I've hit pan on a couple of very popular colors, so I'll be replacing those soon, and it just makes it so easy. So it's nice and compact, and it just slots straight into my kit nice and easily. We'll do pressed powders and powder foundations now. So the first product I got is the Ben Nye Pressed Color Palette. This is the Bella one. There is 3 different types, I think. This one here actually fell out and broke on the weekend, and it went everywhere. So it was actually a colorless powder, just a white one. So once I start hitting pan on some of these other ones, I probably will look to replace that particular pan of color. So we've just got a light sort of cream color, a banana color, the lightest powder color, and then it just goes up to the darkest one. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. And this is really good. It gives a nice light bit of extra coverage, nothing too heavy. So good if a client doesn't want too much powder, or I don't think they need it. I'll go straight into this Z palette here. So this is one that I have made up myself. So down in this sort of section here, I have got 2 of the Anastasia Beverly Hills powders from their contour kit. So I've got the banana, and then that one is vanilla, and then I've got 4 of the Graftobian powder foundations. So I have Milk and Honey, which is the lightest, Satin Sand, Natural Glow, and then Cafe Au Lait. So these are powder foundations. They pack a lot of punch and quite a fair bit of extra coverage. So seeing we're in this palette now, so you can see that I have got highlighters on the other side here. So I'll go straight into the highlighters. So at the top here is the Balm's Luminizer, which was from a palette that I depotted. We've got the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sand highlighter. This one is MAC Emphasize. This was a Too Faced Candlelight Glow that I depotted from a Too Faced palette. And then this is the Sleek color in, they usually bring them out in a little palette with the bronzer, which is in another palette obviously. So this is from the medium kit. I have a full size of the Mary Loumanizer, which is absolutely beautiful. I have MAC's Lighscapade, which I find is really, really good for people, like especially mothers of the bride, that want a little bit of highlight but it's not too intense. I really love this highlighter. It's really, really nice and natural. I have Soft and Gentle from MAC, which is pretty much an iconic product. When I first got it, I didn't really like it. I found it was really glittery and sat on the skin, but I've since found that the way to use it is to actually buff it into the skin with like a setting brush from like Real Techniques. So yeah, that's the way I found that this product works. And then I have the Too Faced Candlelight Glow. This is the highlighting powder duo. So as you can see, it's a duo. We've got a pink pink side and then a champagne side. This is beautiful. I like mixing it together and I like using the colours separately. I have the MAC cream colour base. This is in Hush. So this is a really nice sort of light sort of champagne colour. I like using this mixed with the Becca Champagne Pop on top. I think that it just gives it the most beautiful effect, and as you can see, when I use a cream coloured product, I just scrape out the product that I want with my spatula. No double dipping here. Okay, so we'll do the Becca ones. So I have Champagne Pop, the first one, which is the iconic Jaclyn Hill collaboration with Becca. So it is a more golden highlight, if you can see that there. And then this one is Opal, and I think that this one is my favourite out of all of them, only because it suits my skin tone better. And it's more of a shell champagne sort of, yeah, more, how do I describe that? I think it's more that sort of tanny champagne sort of colour. Yeah, I really, really like that. It's my favourite one. And then this one is Moonstone, which is beautiful for lighter skin tones. It's a really light, sort of more like a white gold highlighter. I really want to get the Topaz one, maybe? No. Rose Gold. That's the new one that's come out, I think. Okay, so we will do blushes now. So I'll go into my Z palette, which is very well loved. I've actually had to super glue part of it back together. So this is just all blushes that I have depotted. So up in this corner here, we've got 3 blushes from the Balm. So I've got Down Boy, which is a matte light pink. Frat Boy, which is sort of a shimmery, darker burgundy colour. And then this one here is Cabana Boy, which is sort of a matte peach. Now this one here is Rose Petal. This is a Too Faced shadow that came from one of their limited edition Christmas palettes a few years ago. This is Pop Pop, which is from the Balm's Balm Voyage palette, which is where that Mary Loumanizer one that I've depotted. This is Papa Don't Preach and VN Rose. These are from Too Faced. They are also from a limited edition palette. You can now get Papa Don't Peach separately, which came out with the new Peach collection. And then up here I have Cocoa Rose, which is another Too Faced colour that came from another limited edition palette. Then this one here is Cherry Apple. This was from a limited edition Sigma palette or Sigma collection. This one here is Glow, and now I think that this, what is that from? This is, this is a Makeup Designory blush pan. I got this so many years ago, it's not funny. It's a beautiful sort of corally kind of colour. And then this is Sweet Pink, which is from another, can you hear my dog? Finished. And this is Sweet Pink, which is from another Too Faced limited edition Christmas palette that I depotted. I also have the Benefit Cheekathon palette, which came out. Hey Mish! Well done. Between that and the crows, oh my goodness. Then I have the Benefit Cheekathon palette, which is a limited edition palette that came out last year. I think that they've now brought out a new one, which has got the new California blush in it. But in saying that, all the blushes that are in this particular palette you can buy on its own. So we've got Dandelion, which is sort of a pinky kind of colour, really good for pale skin. We've got Hoola Bronzer, Rocketeur, Coralista and Dallas. So I find that these are beautiful shades to pack pretty much for any bride. And then we've got a brush down here, which you can see is still in its packaging and I don't use it, which I probably should. Hey! Now we'll move on to the singles of the blushes that I've got. So first off I have MAC's Warm Soul, which I think is the most perfect colour. Everybody should have it. If you're not sure about what blush colour to use on a client, this is probably one of my highly used colours. Say that this is actually probably one of my other highly used colours. This is a Max Factor blush, And this was it's a puff blush in Lavish Mauve. So I'm not sure how much max factor we can get still in Australia, because most of them in Priceline are all just got the mascaras now, but this was really, really beautiful. It's that beautiful mauvey kind of toned blush. Two of the Milani rose blushes, I guess you'd call it. The first one is Tea Rose, which is a beautiful matte mauve. Another one of those colours that's an easy to apply colour. It's very natural looking. That makeup smell that reminds me of old makeup, if you know what that means, like what I mean, like something you would remember your grandmother using. So that can be a bit hard if somebody is pretty sensitive to smell. And then the other one I've got is Tea Rose, which is sort of a darker, brighter pink. So it's not as well used as the other one, but still very well used. So I'll go on to my NARS blushes now. So the first one is Deep Throat, which is a beautiful corally pink. Slight amount of shimmer in it. And then this one is Outlaw, which is a darker burgundy. I don't use this one very much, but it's always good to have this kind of colour on hand for somebody who wants something that's a little bit darker, or a client that has a darker skin tone. This one is Sin. Similarly with Outlaw, this is another one of those colours that doesn't get used that often, but if you've got a client with a darker skin tone, this is absolutely beautiful. It's a really quite dark burgundy. Now this one is Desire, which is a full-on hot pink. I don't use this one too much, but it's really good to have something of this sort of colour in your collection. I've got Exhibit A, which is a hot orangey red. And you probably think, oh, okay, you probably don't use that very often, but oh my goodness, used with a light hand, this is absolutely stunning. Just adds that flush of colour. I know clients freak out when I get this out and they're like, oh my gosh, but I always say to them, don't stress. I'm not like applying it full throttle on your face. And the last one is Orgasm, which I think speaks for itself. It's one of those iconic colours that you need to have if you're a pro makeup artist. Just realised that I didn't go up to this little section up here to show you my last two highlighting palettes, so I'll do them now. So the first one is the Sleek Solstice palette, which looks like this. It's got one cream product over here, which I actually have not dipped into at all. And then it's got a sort of a yellowy toned highlight, a champagne one, and then a purple one. So this is pretty much used when I have a client who wants a super intense highlight, and it's always good to have that in your collection. And then the other one is the NYX Strobe of Genius palette, which again has a few interesting colours of highlights in there, and then some really nice bigger powders of more popular type highlights as well. Okay, I'll do the three little hourglass palettes that are down the back here. So the first one is the Ambient Lighting palette. So this came out quite a number of years, well, probably about 3 years ago. So we've got Dim Light, Incandescent Light, and Radiant Light. So these are beautiful to use as all over the face setting powders and also as highlighters, or this one on the end here can be used as a bronzer on a darker skin tone. They are a little bit shimmery on the shimmery side, so you do have to be careful with the amount that you are going to be putting on your client's face. The next one is the blush palette, and this has got Luminous Flush, which is a pinky golden colour. Then we've got Incandescent Electra, which is a beautiful corally champagne colour. And then the last one here is Mood Exposure, which is a bit more darker, browner sort of toned. These colours are absolutely beautiful. I like mixing them all together to wear on a client. They are very shimmery, so go in with a light hand. Last, this was a limited edition palette they brought out last year, maybe, I think, maybe the year before. Anyway, so it's basically got Dim Light, and these are a little bit smaller, so I'll show you sort of the size difference between the two palettes. So they are a little bit smaller, so if you are going to use these, you need to use a smaller brush. So anyway, we've got Dim Light here, then Iridescent Light, which is actually a limited edition shade that was brought out for this particular palette only. And then we have Diffuse Light, so more of those setting type powders. Then we have the two blush colors at the top here. So we have Mood Exposure, which was in the blush palette, and then Luminous Flush, which is more of a pinky kind of color, and then we have Radiant Luminous Bronze Light, which is the bronzer. So I think that this is also a really nice palette to pack for brides who want that really nice dewy, highlighted, bronzy look. Okay, and the last thing to go are my contour palettes. So the first one is my Sleek contour palette. So this is in dark. So this is for when I have a darker skin toned client who wants to be contoured. So we have the contour color here and then the highlight color on this side. So I have two of the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream contour kits. So this is the fair one. So as you can see, when I dip into it, same again with the cream products, is that I use a spatula. So you've got a matte fair color here, a shimmery white, and then a matte slightly lighter color than this one, and then you've got your three contour colors at the bottom as well. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Contour Kit. This is the medium one. So same again, we've got a banana shade, a matte cream shade, a what do you call it? A color correcting shade, and then your three contour bronzer type colors. Most of these have been depotted out into smaller containers to pop in my kit as well. Just makes it easier than carrying a full palette. I have the NYX highlight and contour palette. So we've got a shimmery highlight, two matte under eye setting powders, I guess you could call it, so a cream one and a banana one, a shimmery sort of champagne color, so another highlighting shade, and then you've got your bronzing and contouring shades. So I use these two for bronzing and then these two for contouring. And then finally I have my Z palette, so I'll just open it up. Pop these back into place, they tend to move around a bit in my kit. So we'll start off down this side. So this is the other half of that Sleek medium contour palette that I had, the other half, the highlighting part in the other one. So this here is the Too Faced Sun Bunny Bronzer Duo. This was also from a limited edition kit, but you can buy this as a bronzer in a, what do you call these things? In like a little duo, I guess? I don't know, like in its own packaging. Then I've got Max Sculpt. This is the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil Bronzer. This was also in one of those kits that I depotted. And then we've got Max Bone Beige. And then these three here are from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit, the medium one, I think, from memory. So we've got Fawn, Havana, and Java. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'm going to pop everything back into there, and let me know if you want to see what's up in my own personal kit when it comes to highlighting, bronzing, or just the whole kit and caboodle. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.